Boom! We are live. T, how you doing, my friend? Welcome back.
What's up, my brother? Today was a good day. How about for you?
Really good. I had a killer workout, and I actually not tested because I've been doing it since you taught me this stuff months and months ago. But I did exactly what we're gonna teach today. I actually woke up. I was so excited about this broadcast. I woke up at 3:30 in the morning. I could not get back to sleep, so I did my journaling. I did my meditation, and I had a kick-ass workout. So I'm really excited to share that with everyone today. As people come in, just let
Nice.
us know that you can hear us and see us. I see there are already a lot of you in here. I'm going to get the comments window set
Good,
up
man.
here so that I can actually see the comments because I'm not sure where they are. Let's see. Window. And yeah, there should already, here we go. We already got questions. Man, where did that comment window go? It's
Questions are
hiding from me.
good.
It's hiding from me, this comment window. Apparently it's up. But awesome. I do hear some comments coming in. Let's just figure out where that window went. Show all windows. Well, that's not good.
You'll find it.
Hope so.
Focus.
I hope so. I don't know where it went. Maybe it's like off screen or something like that. You know how that is when you have many monitors. It can cause a lot of problems. So I will rearrange them. And I thank you to everyone who's given us the likes as they come in the room. Let's
I wish I can
see.
see the comments, man.
Well, you could pop it open with a Facebook window muted. That's also an option.
Let's see if I can do that.
Found it. It
While
was
you're finding
all the
that,
way on
let me
this
do
other
that.
monitor. We got you. All right, great. Jeff Pearson, let's do this. You know what? I can add these to the broadcast. Let's do this. Trevor, hello from Stratford, Canada.
What's up,
Sandeep
Trevor?
from India is here. Caroline, Lee Minter. Awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, once you start saying the names, the likes start pouring in. So why don't we dive right in? I'll do the normal thing that I do, which is the MC stuff and MC Fitness here, and make sure all my stuff's on Do Not Disturb so we don't get interrupted. So welcome, everybody. Really, really excited about today's broadcast. For those of you who have not seen the first broadcast, I'll recap it real quick. I do recommend watching it. We talked predominantly around this idea that there's a huge opportunity here to not only maintain but actually exceed your fitness goals because you got more time. You don't have to commute to the gym. And T explained how with simple workouts, we're going to get into just how simple today, you can crush it and have really, really effective workouts in 15 minutes. We also talked about the motivation and the mindset to get off the couch and actually do the workouts and start building the habit so that a workout becomes inevitable every single day or 4 to 5 times a week. T, anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think just the main point of that conversation was just that we understand that a lot of people are caught in a bad place right now. You're stuck at home, your gym membership may be lapsing, you can't have access to the things you're normally used to that maybe motivate you on a day-to-day basis. But we focused on finding that new motivation. What is motivation for you? How to define that, how to focus on that, how to fuel that, find it, and how to achieve what you want to achieve still when you're stuck at home. And
Yes.
so it was mostly about mindset, right? Just it was some real talk, straightforward, get your mind correct type of stuff. And
Right.
today we're going to focus on how do we implement that into an actual workout that you have to do at home.
Yes. Yes. And the whole thing here, the whole series of broadcasts is really around, again, you have this time, don't lapse, and instead a mindset shift around, you know what, I can come out of this fitter than I went into it. And that was my
That's
mindset
right.
shift because you know me, I like to throw around big weights. I'm happiest when I have 90 kilos on my back. And yet, interacting with UT, I've realized my whole workouts at home have changed because now it's not maintenance mode until I get into the gym. It's I have this guy that I compete with a lot. You know, we're like the same weight, same strength, same everything. And I'm like, I'm going to kick the crap out of him when I get back because I'm going to get so much stronger and fitter during this time. So
You have no idea. I guarantee you, man, if you work up to doing 100 push-ups a night on top of the CrossFit work that you do, you will blow past this guy. I
yep.
swear to you.
Yep. Yep. So I'm really stoked about it. Again, for those, I'm going to do the T Major brag reel. For those who don't know T and don't know kind of why he is the guy that we should all be listening to right now, T has worked and designed workouts for every branch of the U.S. military. He's worked in combat zones. He's designed workouts in Iraq, in Afghanistan. He also published the book called Urban Calisthenics, which actually teaches you how to do killer workouts in cramped environments with no weights, little time, no equipment required. And so he's just a wealth of knowledge with years and years of experience in all of this stuff. And we're really happy to have him. So
thank you, man.
Let's talk today. Today is the meat and potatoes of the 3 broadcasts. Not that the third one is not going to be awesome. But today we are talking, and I'll put up also the worksheets here so people can download the worksheet from last broadcast and also this week's broadcast. You can download it right here, and they're free companion worksheets that are going to help you implement everything you're learning in all 3 of these broadcasts and make it very easy. Today we're going to talk about building a workout. So we talked about the mindset. We talked about the habits. Now most people are going, great, I got the motivation. What do I actually do? What does a good workout look like? And the idea here is not to be dependent on YouTube or apps or whatever. So talk us a little bit through what a good workout looks like. What is a complete workout? And I think people are going to be very surprised when they hear the answer.
Yeah, so without trying to polarize the audience between what is the best system of workout, let's define that, right? We're not talking about CrossFit is better than HIIT training, it's better than rowing, it's better than running. This is not what we're talking about, right? We're talking about effectiveness. And most of the time, an effective workout will consist of strength, cardio, and core work, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And then you can balance that out with mobility and flexibility, which we're not talking about today, but we'll get to at some point, I'm sure. In my opinion, this is what makes a complete workout. If you can do strength work, if you can do cardio work and work the cardiovascular system, right? And so if you can improve your heart rate, if you can improve your lung capacity, and if you can improve your core strength, you're going to walk away from that feeling pretty damn good about yourself.
Right. I was going to ask, when you say effective, what does effective mean? And I guess really what you're talking about is actual gains, right? Like, are you getting faster? Right. Are you getting stronger? Is your metabolic rate improving? Are your lungs and heart becoming more efficient? Are you getting the hormonal benefits of workout? Because a lot of this is about feel-good hormones, boosting immunity.
That's right.
It's the full package. And so when we say effective, we're not just talking like break a sweat. We're talking literally the full litany of benefits that you get from a workout. And you can get it from these 3 simple components. So hit us again with those 3 components. Strength, cardio, and core. Strength, cardio, and core. Every workout has to have that. So when you see someone in the gym and they're just jumping rope, that's one component of 3. Now, what I think is going to surprise people the most, T, you can like show us. I think people can see. You're a very fit guy. How much time do you spend on this on your average day on these 3 components?
I mean, my workout today, I did a workout for a company that wanted to do a live workout, and it was a 20-minute workout. That's it. But in that 20 minutes, we did 4 circuits plus a warm-up, a dynamic warm-up, and stretch. So it's completely possible if you're structured and organized to hit every facet, strength, cardio, and core, and put some icing and a cherry on top and get your mobility and flexibility work in too.
Right. Now, I think people are probably thinking to themselves like, the what the hell effect, like, oh, how much can I really get done in 20 minutes? Like, how effective is it? And that's right.
And I'm sure a lot of people are also going, oh, but you're already in shape. The 20 minutes. And, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it.
Right. So break it down for us, because actually the science shows that more is not better. And this is so surprising for people who have had it drilled into them for decades. Like, I want to get in shape, I got to go run 10 kilometers or whatever that is in miles. And actually, the science doesn't support that. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, so let's give it to people in a simple way, right? Without get too sciencey on people. We have all the science backing and on the information in the handouts and in the information and in the course that we provided. But the simple way to describe it is this, right? Whenever you raise your heart rate, the very first thing that happens is your body releases creatine in order to supply those muscles with the fuel that it needs. Okay. So now we're just talking about the energy systems, what happens in the body. Creatine releases, it's gone within seconds. So the body needs a new fuel source. So it turns to glycogen, which is just carbohydrates, sugars that are in the muscles. That releases. Okay. And you continue to burn this for a while. As your heart rate continues to increase, you produce lactic acid and a whole host of other chemical reactions happen in the body. But the next phase of what happens is your body starts to use oxygen. Okay. And when oxygen starts mixing into your bloodstream, and this is the next energy source that's used, then only then, after 10 or 15 minutes of working out, fat cells start to release. Okay. And then you have this concoction, this cool mixture of, this cool Cajun jambalaya mixture of oxygen and fat cells. And you can burn those away. Then and only then are you actually using and burning fat. But this happens after 10 or 15 minutes, right?
Right.
So in my mind, what benefits are you going to get 1 hour later, 1 hour and a half later, when all of this is happening in the first 10 or 15 minutes of your high intensity exercise?
Right. So, and then there are also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. So like I was actually going to probably jump ahead, and what you were going to say is like, you go ahead, because I think you're going to cover, or at least segue me into the next point that I was going to make.
I was going to say, so people are thinking to themselves like, okay, so what? I don't burn fat. But what we've realized, and I think this is exactly where you're going, so sorry I cut you off here. There's something called the afterburn effect, which is right. if you go up in intensity, your body takes more time to recover, and your heart rate is elevated for a long time. And so this blew my mind. So correct me if I'm wrong, because I may be misquoting. It may not be more, it may be equal, it may be whatever. A 15-minute high-intensity workout will burn more calories in the span of 24 hours than a much longer low-intensity workout like jogging or walking on the treadmill or the elliptical or any of that, which is crazy.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I guess the science is a bit mixed on this, right? So it's a double-edged sword. I would say yes if you work out in the morning, because what happens is, and for our audience, right, EPOC, this is excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. It's a really sciencey way of saying after you work out, your body still has to work to burn calories. So what happens is, after this 10 or 15 minutes of intense exercise, your body has what's called this EPOC period. And all it's doing is it's saying we still have so many processes that the body has to go through that happen immediately after exercise, right? Your body starts protein synthesis, so it breaks down muscles and it rebuilds them. Your body's central nervous system has to start firing the right way again. Hormones that you referred to again, those, they have to start replenishing themselves. So all of these processes are energy intense, right? They take a lot of energy to happen, and this is what EPOC is. So if you work out, if you have your HIIT session in the mornings, then like you said, yeah, it's quite possible that throughout the day, all of these processes are happening. So you could actually burn more calories throughout the day than you did in your actual workout. But I think that this is probably a bit misleading, because you naturally have your basal metabolic rate, or the amount of calories that you burn just by being alive too. So
right.
There's probably some studies out there that we can find that actually test this. So let's look at that, because I'm sure this would be good information for the audience.
Yeah, and even if it's, like I said, I'm not 100% sure about the exact numbers, but even if it's not more, it's not a quarter. Like, it's not the case, and this is it's so easy to go wrong on this. You would think 15-minute workout, 1/4 of the calories of a 1 hour workout, And the whole point is it is not. It's far from it. And so you get these
You're
outpaced
right on that.
benefits. Today my really intense workout was 7.5 minutes. I mean, I did a whole strength component, which was separate, and I did all my like big muscle groups and all that kind of stuff. But my intense workout was 7 minutes.
I love those.
7 minutes, and it was phenomenal, and I feel great, and I'm still going strong. And there is that research by Tabata, right, which is like doing intervals with rest. Actually, now you're the expert on this one. Actually, created better gains in performance over time.
It did, yeah. They found it was a 20-10 rule, right? 20 seconds on, 10 seconds of active recovery for 4 minutes. Only a 4-minute workout, and they saw significantly more caloric burn and improvements than, say, a static or steady state cardio. Yeah.
Isn't that wild? And I believe he was working with the Japanese Olympic team or some university. It was a very legitimate study, which is why Tabata is now known the world over. Brent Gerganis has a really great question, which is related to exactly this. So thank you, Brent, for submitting questions. And for anyone who has questions, Brent asks, I'm curious about heart rate recovery in intervals. Are interval programs like HIIT even appropriate? I'll re-add that because it disappears after 10 seconds. Are they even appropriate for an out-of-shape fitness level? Just walking around in that state will be in, sorry, it's really hard with these glasses, will be in the 50% range, 50 to 60% of heart range. I can't even active recover. So I think what Brent's saying is I'm not in really great shape right now. So is HIIT, high intensity interval training, like we're talking about, is it appropriate to get into the 50 to 60% of heart rate? Now, my understanding is you actually want to go above 50 to 60% heart rate.
Yeah, it sounds like what he's saying is I'm so out of shape, I feel like all I can give is 50 to 60%. So there's no active recovery because I'm always kind of in this range of not
this
really
is why you're the
reaching
expert.
this 80,
I didn't
85.
get that. Yeah.
Maybe.
I think that's right.
Just ask him to clarify the question. If that's what he's saying, then I think he's just getting a bit hung up on the percentages.
Right.
You're 50 to 60%. If you're completely exhausted, if you're really fatigued, then this is actually your 80 to 90%.
Right.
So your active recovery period. This is how, and we're going to talk about structuring workouts, but your active recovery just means you're still doing something during this workout, right? So this can be a plank. You're just trying to bring the heart rate down. So if you were doing jumping jacks and this gets you up to your 50 to 60% where you're feeling like you're really exhausted, then do a core exercise where you're not elevating the heart rate. You're still working, but you're not elevating the heart rate. And this will help bring it down. What you're trying to do is you're trying to create this effect in your training protocol.
Yeah.
And
so that
this
was
is
a
why the core
mind-blowing
is
thing
important.
for me that I learned from you was you really taught me, and I'm embarrassed I didn't know this before because I should have known this, and I've been, like I said, working out now for 21 years actively.
Wow.
And you really drilled into me the importance of core because it holds everything together, prevents injury. I had an injury that you talked me, like I said, you talked me off the cliff where my back was messed up, and now it's perfect. It's perfect, and thanks to your guidance, and you really taught me that like core, the best active recovery you can be doing is core, right? Like it's just perfect way to do active recovery, but yet also hit that most important muscle group, which is holding your core together. Brant says, I'm at 50 to 60 just walking around. I'll exercise 80 to 90%, but the recovery doesn't really recover.
He'll exercise 80 to 90%, but we're walking around. So did we answer the question correctly? Because that's still a little bit unsure.
I think his answer started with so I assume we did okay. How much does heart rate matter in all of this? I mean, I know just from not data, literally from me monitoring how I feel after I do workouts. I know if I hit 175 in any given day, which is pretty high heart rate given that I'm getting up there in the years. You can see some white hairs here. 175 is pretty high for me, but if I hit 175, I feel great.
Yeah. Yeah, I've used a heart rate monitor on and off a lot. I think that they're great, and they're getting better at making heart rate monitors that are really accurate these days. So if you can get your hands on one, you can train with one, then
Yeah.
certainly makes certainly makes you that much more efficient. But it's not necessary. It's not a prerequisite to doing HIIT training for sure. So to answer your question, how important is it? It's pretty damn important,
Yeah.
The goal should certainly be to get towards near maximal effort in your worked period.
Yeah.
That's a definite. And your recovery time is made to let that heart rate come down, not all the way. This is
Yeah.
not sitting on your ass waiting for the next work time. This
Yeah.
is just, like I said, it's made to do like this.
Right, and everything about what we're teaching is literally how do you get the absolute most out of every second that you are spending. I mean, like, T's a really busy guy, 2 kids under the age of 2.5, and a company to run, and clients, and all kinds of stuff. Like, this is literally designed every second you are working. And I remember when you gave me and our audience, you did a challenge for our mastermind. You gave us a fitness test. And I came in and I was like, oh, I'm a CrossFitter and I've been working out for all these years. And
Gonna crush this.
your fitness test, like the baseline test, destroyed me. Like, destroyed me. I was gasping on the floor on all fours. Like, you're
Don't
really
scare
serious about
everybody.
fitness. Yeah, no, but I mean, I took it really hard as well. Like, I didn't do the knee
Yeah,
push-ups. I did the full push-ups. We got some great questions
great.
here. Caroline asks, "What is core?" So we're talking about the tummy muscles, the abdominals. Yeah.
Great question. Yeah, let's be a bit more specific on that. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
I define the core everything from below your chest, so below your breasts to your hips. This is all of this musculature here, right? It's the corset muscles, your obliques that wrap around you, and it's your abdominal wall in the center, and it's also your lower lumbar and your back, and it's also the hips, so your hip flexors. So when I work core, I try to engage and work all of these muscles consecutively or together.
Yes. Yes. Now, we have a great follow-up question on that. Is it critical, this is from Joanne, is it critical to do a separate core workout versus part of your workout, i.e. cardio kickboxing as the significant core component? And if you should do a separate component, how often should you do core each week? Now, this changed the game, and this is something I learned from T after 20 years of working out. Hit him with the wisdom, man.
Yeah, so the here's the correct answer. Try to work core in every single movement you do. Everything focuses on core. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter if you're doing a squat, you should engage your core. It doesn't matter if you're doing a lunge, your core should be engaged. So working core happens all the time because the core is your center of mass, it's your center of power. All of this, all your extremities get stronger when you work this and when you engage this. So
Yeah.
you have to get your mind around that. Certainly, you could certainly work your core separate, right? So you can do your cardio kickboxing and then have a core session afterwards. But when you're punching a bag, you have to engage your core, and you should actively be focused on engaging your core during this period.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
way that I prefer to train, I prefer to focus on engaging my core throughout all of my movements, no matter if it's a strength component or a cardio component. But I also have a very defined core component where I do a movement that is considered core based.
Right. Here's the secret magic, by the way. It's not just in the workout. Your core, and I didn't realize this until I dug deep into like Kelly Starrett, started studying kinesiology, biomechanics. Your core should always be engaged. When you're sitting, your core
Always.
should be engaged, holding your spine up. And we're not talking so tight you can't breathe. But the way it was taught to me is your core and your glutes, so your abs and your butt, should always be about 10 to 20%. So right now I'm standing. I'm semi-flexed in the same way that how am I going to say that? I was going to use the example of your sphincters in your body in various places, they're always clenched, but a better example is maybe like your calves are always working. They're not working at 100%, but in order to stand, your calves are always working. So it's not this
Yeah.
like that's so uncomfortable. I'm always like making a muscle in my stomach, but it is your glutes should always be kind of tightened in because that's going to
Yeah.
create this PPT, right? Posterior pelvic tilt. And your abs, the same thing. Like one thing that I like to do to teach people this when they go, well, like, no, that's not true. That's not comfortable. And I go, okay, cool. Like, do the bad thing we all know. I can't even do it because my back will hurt. Like, slouch. And then, do it the other way, right? Tighten your abs just 10% and then try and slouch. And you can't do it. It's like if your abs are tight and your glutes are tight, you cannot have bad posture, sitting or standing. It's like it's your corset, you know, it holds you together. So that's the secret magic. If you're working your abs in every single workout, and, you know, we talked about every workout should have 3 components, and one of them is core strength, right? Whether it means adding in crunches or V-ups or leg lifts or planks, yeah, even planks. Every single workout should have it, and then all of a sudden everything gets better. Your back pain goes away. Your posture gets better. You stop having that weird tweaky thing in your shoulder that's caused by, you know, the nerves not lining up. It's just everything gets better.
I've increased like sprinter's speed just by focusing on core strengthening. It's like a magic cure all for so many people out there.
Yeah.
Especially the everyday working man and woman, you know, the person who is not considered an athlete, the person who has a 9-to-5 job. You need to work your core. I don't care if this person that walks into my door, I go, okay, I'm gonna test this person's core strength and see where it's at.
Yes.
And even if they're spectacular, we can still work it and we can still improve it, and we are still going to work it, and we're still going to improve it.
Mine was really bad, you know? Until I met you. I was really weak. I had these big muscular arms and okay legs, but my core was really, really weak. It's amazing how many people, even fitness-focused people, overlook it.
Yeah. And one thing that our audience can focus on is oftentimes like an easy cue for people to know if their core is engaged or not is knowing if your rib cage is elevated. Just think about the posture of your body. If your rib cage is up, then most of the time it's absolutely impossible for your core to be engaged. And this is how I corrected, you know, when you had that back injury,
right? Because
when you start to elevate here, you know, in a front rack position, your lats actually, if they're tight, will pull your rib cage up and disengage your core, which can cause a whole host of back problems.
Tell me about it.
Right? especially if you're loading the weight.
Which I was.
So an easy way for people to know is like just lay down on the ground on your back. And if you have a scoop, if you can pass your hand underneath your lower lumbar region, then this is what I'm talking about. Your rib cage is elevated, and you're not engaged in the core. So actively press your lower back into the ground, and this is what your core feels like being engaged.
Yeah.
Just do that. Before we even go any further about how you do this when you're standing up and walking around in everyday life.
Yep.
Everybody at home, just lay down on the ground and press your belly button and your lower back into the ground, and tell me if that doesn't work your core.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. Like every time, I've known you now for years, and we've hung out and done so many podcast episodes. And every time I talk to you, I feel like I uncover like new depths of your knowledge. Like I had you didn't tell me at the time. You just told me because I was in a lot of pain. You were like, you just need to do this and this, and this might have been what happened. I had no idea that actually lifting the lats. I mean, this is the difference between a hobbyist and a world-class expert. Like I had no idea that moving this could impact this and put me, you know, and this is, I think, what's so genius about what T does and about the programs we've built and content we create is he cuts all that stuff out and just makes it simple. Like every workout should have core. Don't ask me why. Just trust that it should, you know, have core.
Just strengthen your core. We're gonna mobilize. We're gonna make sure that you're supple and you're loose. We're gonna strengthen your core, and then everything else is gonna be fine.
Yep. Freda has a really great question. What, we're talking about HIIT and getting the most out of the minimum time. What do you do if you're training for a marathon? How do you incorporate HIIT into the tedious needing to actually put in the miles?
That's a great question. I'm glad she's asking this because when I was training Air Force, or any other branch of the military, it's a prerequisite and requirement for their fit test for them to run. It's not a marathon, but the application is the same. if you start doing HIIT training, I guarantee your runtime will improve. And I want you to specifically focus on improving your cardio capacity, your cardio, and improving your foot speed. So what I did with the military, because they have a run test, right, that they have to pass under a certain amount of time. And one of my jobs was to improve this run time. But I'm not going to take 50 troops on a run every single day to train for a 2-mile run. So in this little room, what we would do is we would take a speed step or a simple aerobic step that you would find on Amazon, and we worked foot speed, because there's 2 ways to improve your run time. You have to increase stride length or stride frequency. Now, stride length, you improve by actually getting out there, improving your mobility, and in trying to improve your stride length, or you grow taller like a Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
But stride frequency is a lot easier to train. This is just foot speed. This is just getting up and down on that step 100 times in 30 seconds, right? This is crossing over. This is working. This is trying to get your feet moving as fast as you possibly can, which is also going to raise your heart rate. This is why I incorporated it into my HIIT training. Yep. And I guarantee you that your marathon training is going to improve. So she's probably on a marathon. She's probably on a schedule right now of progressing throughout the week, right? Starting out with a 5-mile run, then hitting it, and then have your distance towards the end of the week. But just incorporate 1 or 2 HIIT sessions during the week, 15, 20 minutes, and I guarantee that your run time improves.
I did not know that. I'm actually learning. I thought it was 2 totally separate things. So like I said, every time I hang out with T, I learn so much, which is why I love doing this stuff. And I want you to know, T, you're literally changing lives in the chats. One person says, I have problems with my lower back. Now that I am understanding the importance of core, I realize my core is really weak. So how do I start these trainings without hurting me? Are there some exercises for super beginners? For that, I would tell them we're actually giving away a free worksheet. I mean, we can spend some time on it, but 15 questions just came up. There is there are free resources that we've put together, which have, I don't remember exactly how many ab exercises, but we added a ton on there, from beginner to difficult.
Yeah, with video, like we have everything, video based in the course, but the free worksheet we're giving all you guys, it's a pretty extensive list of exercises that you guys are going to get, that most of the names I don't try to change and get so creative with. You can find those totally easily accessible anywhere.
And we'll be talking later on in another broadcast how people can actually learn the movements directly from you. We actually recorded high quality videos. I came in and I was like, T, we got to get, like, you do all these movements, you teach all these movements. I came in, I flew out to Berlin, brought a massive camera rig, gimbal, like did the 360, everything. So we'll be talking to people about how they can watch those videos as well. I'm going to get to Lynn's question in a moment here. I want you to know, Theodoros says, guys, that's immense value. I'm 30 years old, training 15 years now, and my back's been hurting all the time, and I just realized I was overlooking core all along. I told you, man, you're literally changing lives. It's so exciting. Lynn has a great question. Core. Lynn has a great question, and I also want to know the answer to this because, sometimes you do get injured or your legs hurt or your back hurts. So she wants to know, how can she elevate her heart rate during this high-intensity training since she's paralyzed from the chest down? She can use arms and shoulders but doesn't have control of any core muscles. And I think I know what you're going to say. I have 2 ideas, but I want to ask the master first.
Wow, honestly, this is outside the scope of my expertise. To be honest with you, I would have to really speak with her and find out her exact conditions. But yeah, I'm happy that she's in this chat. What a
trooper.
Rainmaker. What a rainmaker, sitting here going, awesome. What's the best workout and the hardest workout I can do?
I love that.
I
was
cool.
thinking again, I don't know how this would work, but potentially the rower, just the arms of the rower. I love the rower, and sometimes I will do just arms rowing, which is can be really effective. And then I believe that, what's it called? The company that makes the rowers, C7 or whatever, Concept 7, They make all different kinds of machine. They have this one core unit, which again we're trying to do non-equipment, but they have this one core unit which they add to everything, and you can actually get a skier, like a ski machine that all you do is you grab it and you do this, and you can pull it. You can do that seated, and it'll get you going. Let me tell you. Then they also have obviously bicycles, but they have bicycles that you can operate with just the pedals. And sometimes I'll do that as well. Like just put my legs on, but my legs aren't working, and just do the boom, 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 boom. And that'll get you working. It's a little bit of an investment in equipment, but that'll get your heart rate going.
Absolutely. And actually, now that you got my mind working, Nord, the equipment provider that I work with out here in Germany, it's NOHRD. Let's try to link to it for them. They also produce some equipment that's quite useful. They have a water grinder that it's basically a rower for your hands. It has a fan that spins through water. That's also a cool piece of equipment that's 100% upper body based. And then also a Pilates machine device, and also Nord has something that's similar to a Pilates device that you can elevate and put on to wall bars. That's also cool. But also like if I was actually like one track mind and had tunnel vision, thinking like just cardio to elevate the heart rate. But any strength exercise that you can do is also going to elevate the heart rate. So pull-ups with bands. Yeah. These, anything that's going to get you towards this 80 to 85, 90% maximal effort range is going to get your heart rate moving, right?
Right. I love it. And way to be, Lynn. Just like, how can I get the best possible workout?
I know, Lynn. I want to meet Lynn. What a boss.
So cool. Wow, we're getting a lot of questions. I love the questions. Keep them coming. I'm not complaining. Let's see. Zach wants to know, good posture also includes the glutes. We talked about that already, I think. He wants to also know, for jump roping, would a HIIT training be spinning as fast as possible and then slowing the pace after 30 seconds, such as sprinting and jogging? Oh, we could talk about double unders.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way to do it for sure. Me personally, I would like a bit more diversity in my workout. But if you're doing, all right, my cardio section of my workout, I just want to do jump rope. I don't really want to mix it up. I just want to do, say, like 2 minutes straight of jump rope. Then absolutely, I would break it down like 30 seconds on and 15 seconds off, 20 tens, something like that.
Yeah, and diversity is the key. I think like what T is teaching is so valuable. It's like you get the strength, you get the core, you get the cardio, get them all three together, and it's kind of like supersetting, right? Like while one muscle is tired, work another. You're not wasting a second. So like while your heart rate is recovering, do the plank, or do the strength of the squats or the lunges or whatever. And all these movements are in the worksheet, which people can download. But while you're doing that, recovering from that, then do the jump rope. And so you really do want to get that diversity, because that's where the magic of this interval training and cross training and stuff, that's the secret sauce, really.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, it's going to extend your workout significantly if you start working opposing muscle groups, or actually switch. I call them genres altogether, right? If you go from strength, cardio, core, and vice versa, this is going to allow you to train for a much longer amount of time in your maximal level. That's why I do it that way, at least.
Right. So we got some great responses. I'm so flattered and just really happy that you're here, T. Freda says, thanks so much for the info. It blew my mind. That was great. I did hear from my PT that it's all foot speed, but I was still focusing more on the miles. I'll change my focus now. Core. Love that. Sven says, speaking about a marathon, can you suggest exercises to increase movement range after a torn ligament and very stiff ankle? Want to go back to my fitness level of 2019. That might be a little out of scope, but we could talk a little bit about ankle mobility, I suppose.
Yeah, throw it to me again. What was the question? One more time.
So Sven had a torn ligament and now has a very stiff ankle and wants to increase movement range. I know I got some.
Which ligament though was it? Which ligament? Was it the knee or was it a ligament in his ankle?
Well, he said very
Just to
stiff
clear it up.
ankle, but yeah, let's clear it up and see. Lynn would love to talk to you more about this, so I'm sure she can, send you a message on
Send me a
Instagram
message.
or on your Facebook page or something like that. That's really cool to see. So I know I knew this was going to be a longer broadcast, and I'm happy that it is. I'm going to bring us back to our agenda and just answer some of the objections or doubts that people have, right? And the first one I want to talk about is someone might go, Jonathan T, there are so many great workouts on YouTube. There's so many apps out there. Like, why can't I just go watch Pamela Reif and she does a workout, every 3 days or something like that, and I'll just do her workout. Keep it simple.
Yeah, I mean, you could, and people have gotten gains that way, but the real magic is in specificity for you and for your own body. Like
Yes.
here we are talking with people about, I'm a marathoner. This is my goal. This is my purpose, and this is my why of
Yes.
why I train. Right. So this is what's important, is to realize what your goal, what your purpose, and your reasoning is, and then tailor a program to yourself based on that.
Yes.
That's really where you have the max results. It's in
Yes.
that period there.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback on that. It's like, my wife and I I like to do Pamela Reif's workouts because I like how the timer is already on there. I don't need to mess around with my phone. I just put it on the TV. But we've
Yeah.
been in quarantine for 2 weeks now. We're out of workouts. There are some workouts that don't apply to us. Given certain health conditions or this, that, or the other. Like, my wife strictly does not want her fat burning workout, because my wife needs to put on some weight. Just as an example. And so you run out, and then you spend the 15 minutes that I should be spending working out. Like, my workouts should be quick. I've spent more than 15 minutes just searching for the right workout. And it's like, it would be so much easier for
Yeah.
me to just go, okay, here's what we're going to do. We need strength, core, and, and
Cardio.
cardio. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do 10 burpees. I'm going to do 15 squats, and then I'm going to do a 30-second plank. I'm going to do 5 circuits. Boom. Like, how long did that take me? And then 5 circuits will take me what it takes me, maybe like 12 minutes or 10 minutes. And then I'm done. And I'm not dependent. I don't need internet. I could do this literally in the back of a plane if I wanted to. They probably might kick me off the plane, but you
I've done
just
it.
become independent. You can do it anywhere. You can do it if you're camping.
That's the thing, man. It's that freedom and it's that independence. I have troops that I train that still are using the format that we use in the boot camp class there that I was teaching
Right.
there on the base. Because, I mean, that's the point. That's the reason why I do what I do, is because I want to teach. I want to educate people and give them systems and tools that they can use far beyond, the point where I train them, because the biggest reward for me is to have them accomplish their goals.
Totally.
And then years later say, man, you taught me this.
Totally.
And it changed the game for me.
Totally.
So
Totally.
it's about systems. It's about systems, guys. Like, you can pull up on a YouTube and find whatever pops up because you searched for a workout yesterday, and it's going to pop up another one for you. Yes, absolutely. But systems are the way to success. I'm telling you that.
And also, Pamela Reif is not tailoring based on what you did yesterday. It's whatever video pops up. So if yesterday you did squats, well, today you probably should vary it up. If yesterday you did plank, which works a certain area of the abdominals, tomorrow you should maybe do leg lifts and do another part. So only you know. And this, when I was writing out, some of the emails for promoting this whole thing, I was saying the best personal trainer in the world for you would be you, if you had the knowledge that your personal trainer has, because no one is going to know your body, know how sore you are. I mean, there are a lot of great personal trainers out there who can look at you and go, oh, your glute maximus isn't firing correctly, but they don't know the little things like, oh, yesterday I walked up 10 flights of stairs, so actually, you know what, my quads are feeling a little, why don't I work hamstrings today instead? And when you have this knowledge, I was reading Breakthrough Advertising, and I was reading ads from the 1930s, and it was a TV repair manual, and it had this line, which was like, if you had their knowledge, you wouldn't have to pay them for it. I was like, that is exactly the situation.
Isn't it a beautiful thing?
Yeah. So another objection people have, I don't have the time. And I think we've covered that. Like, a good workout can be 15 minutes. I've seen you do, when we were recording and things were crazy, like I've seen you do 5-minute workouts and break a sweat.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, I mean, be fired up and need something to eat, right? Totally.
Right.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, man. Like once you start to train in this way, you start to educate yourself, and you have this Rolodex of movements in your brain that you can just start to plug and play into this system of just strength, cardio, and core. The possibilities are endless, and you can either torch or maintain, depending on how your body is feeling. And totally ad lib on that too, in the moment even. So there'll be times where I'm like, you know what, I only have 20 minutes, but yesterday I went heavy on the leg exercises, so I'm going to do a bit more upper body stuff. And then I just start plugging in. Okay, I'm going to do a push up. I'm going to do a walkout push up. Okay, now I'm going to do archers, and then I'm going to do and then in the middle of the workout, I'll notice that I've torched my upper body now. So now my lower body's sore, my upper body is torched. What do? Right? You have to start digging back into this mental Rolodex and finding those movements that you can do and that you can perform that are maybe total body, that help to alleviate a little bit of that stress and strain off your other muscle groups.
Yeah.
And that's when you're finished with that workout, you didn't give up, you pushed your way through, you created something in the moment. It's the best feeling ever, man.
Absolutely.
It's totally the best feeling.
Absolutely. Let's now talk about, I don't have equipment. Another objection people have, I don't have equipment. I don't have the money to buy equipment. I can't now. My personal objection, like there are no kettlebells left in the country because people have purchased them. Like I think we talked about this a lot on Broadcast 1, but people don't need any equipment to do this stuff. Literally nothing we've talked about today has, except for Lynn's particular situation, nothing we've talked about requires zero equipment. We're not even talking about like lifting water bottles. So zero equipment required.
I mean, I personally know, I think over 300 different bodyweight only movements that required no equipment at all. So this is not a valid excuse. And on top of that, all of these can be adjusted for beginners, intermediate, and advanced, and even for advanced individuals. If you look at Urban Calisthenics, I'm going to make a shameless book plug here. And I only plug it because in that book, I do progress people from intermediate to advanced, and I show how just inclining the body or declining the body, it totally changes the scope and the complexity of a movement. It totally impacts the body different. It totally increases or decreases the what's the word I'm looking for? The intensity, how challenging the movement is for you.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse. Absolutely no excuse, guys. You don't need any equipment. If you're the type that likes equipment, then you can use any of your household items. So that's no excuse either. But we're just talking about bodyweight training here.
Right.
There's a whole variety of movements you can do that are going to torch you.
And I personally, if you don't believe us and you're like, I need equipment, I want a lot of resistance, not just body weight. I mean, we've talked about how body weight can get you everything you need, but I went out on AliExpress and I bought a set of bands. I'm sure you could get them on Amazon. They go all the way up to like 80 pounds, and then I can stack them. So I have been able to do, and we're talking, I think I spent like $15, right? And I was going to tell you, I'm going to record a video to go into the course you and I built, the Superhuman Body course, where I just show people how I mounted like brackets on a concrete wall, and now I can do down pulling movements, up pulling movements, like with 2 brackets and $15 worth of bands. I literally have a whole gym in my house, which is incredible.
How cool is it, man? I love using bands for mobility work, right? But when it comes to strength work, that's the way to do it. Find an anchor point and anchor your bands in, and then you can do all kinds of rotational twisting movements. You can do chopping movements.
Yeah, exactly. It has been awesome, and I'm like completely swole after. So, I think we've covered most of the objections that people will have to actually implementing what we learned today. The other one is people will say, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know movements. I mean, I would argue after this broadcast, you know a lot of what you're doing. You know how to form a whole workout. It's simple. It's 3 components. what would you say to someone who's
Strength
like,
cardio?
I'm not sure I know what I'm doing here?
Yeah, I mean, so if you have a system, strength cardio and core, then it's so simple to pull open exercises everywhere. I have a database of exercises. We have a database of exercises in this course
Yep.
here. You can pull up an Indie Men's Health magazine and you can find exercises to plug and play into that.
We have the
That's
worksheets that we've created. Make sure everyone
we're
is
going to provide,
downloading
yeah.
these. There are 3 worksheets, one for each broadcast, and the one for today is really valuable as well. So get involved
Yeah.
with that.
And that's my personal selection of movements that, I believe run the gamut and cover the entire spectrum of movements that you should be doing to have a total body and a
Right.
very holistic focus of training your entire body.
Right. Right. T, this has been amazing. I want to talk a little bit about what's coming up next. So we have the next broadcast. Again, we're basing this whole series off of 1,100 plus survey results that people gave us, tons of information. They gave us their feedback. We're also basing it off the questions. As you can tell, we're working directly off the questions that people submit, not only live, but also we're going back and reading all the responses, whether that's on the YouTube broadcasts, on the Facebook broadcasts. And so we're going to cover next time, we're going to cover a little bit about nutrition. And then we're going to let people know how they can continue learning with you, and a really, really exciting offer that we've put together for people to actually learn directly from you. And we brain dumped everything that you know into a system that really makes it very, very easy. So,
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about next broadcast because a lot of people struggle with nutrition, and that's the whole reason why we're doing this right now, especially, right, is because people are in quite a predicament. I also have the same struggles, not having the same resources available. I said, this now is the time for this course to come out for sure, because this is the one that's going to help people the most.
Yep. And
so I'm excited to talk about nutrition and in today's state on Friday, right? We're doing that.
That is on Friday. Yeah, Friday at 10:30
a.m.
Pacific, and we'll talk more about the course then. I want to make sure people are ready to hear about it. I want to make sure that we focus really on delivering as much value as possible. This is not about getting people into some program, and I think we've demonstrated that with these last 2 broadcasts. And I can count on 2 hands or more the number of lives that I think were changed by today's broadcast. So make sure, everyone, if you haven't already, download these worksheets because they're going to be super valuable for you in implementing everything we talk about. And make sure to tune in. I've already created the post, so it's somewhere else on the page, the Superhuman Academy Facebook page. Hit get reminder. If you haven't been getting our emails, add a calendar reminder, because if you don't put it on your calendar, it's not going to happen. Or at the very least, watch the replays because we're trying to give as much value as possible here. And we're going to keep doing that on Friday.
Excited, man.
All right, my friend. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure to give a like, and if you can, share this. If you found this valuable, share this and share it with your friends, your social community, and share why you found it was valuable, what you learned, because really, I know for T and I, this is not about how many people like our Facebook page, and it's not about how many people buy our products. It really is like, how many people's lives can we impact during this time of need? That's really, really important. And you guys can help us create that ripple effect where, there are people in this chat who have been working out for 15, 20, 30 years and did not know some of the stuff that we covered today. And everyone has a right to know how to use their body. So, yeah.
I want to press you guys, share this video with somebody who you think needs to work their core more.
Yeah,
that's
totally,
what I would share with.
Totally. And Joanne asks, how can we listen to the first broadcast if we missed it? It is elsewhere on this Facebook page. So if you scroll down, it's there. It's also on my personal YouTube channel. And you can go to jle.vi/YouTube to watch the replays. If you want to watch them there, YouTube will allow you to watch it in 2x speed. So that should be more convenient if you want to save time. I know everyone is trying to save time in this day and age, and I will put that on the screen. So if you want to watch the replay at 2x speed, go to jle.vi/YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube if you can. And also, I would invite people to follow both T and myself on Instagram. I've been posting a lot of different stuff that I'm doing to stay sane and stay healthy. And I will put that in the chat as well.
Good. I've also posted a couple of live workouts on the Instagram TV and on my YouTube channel, and on my Facebook page as well.
Awesome.
So
totally awesome. Deb says, thanks, guys. You've just given me back at least an hour a day. That is awesome. I love that. Chris says, thanks, Jonathan.
There's nothing more valuable than that. Amazing.
Totally. All right. Well, let's in light of that comment, let's go ahead and end it there. Just under an hour, and we'll see everybody on Friday. Make sure to watch the replay of the first if you haven't already, and please share this with someone who needs to work their abs. Mr. T. Major, thank you once again. I appreciate you.
Thank you guys, man. Thank you, Jonathan. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it.